Mabuhay everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel. For today's video, I'll be comparing the WOW 808 2 Ultra together with the WOW All City 11. So let's find out which one is for you. Let's go. A lot of you have been asking me about which one should they purchase, the 808 2 Ultra or the All City 11, since they are about the same price. Since the All City 11 is about to come out, so a lot of people have been messaging me about which one to cop, if they're going to wait for the All City 11 or should they just cop the Ultra. So hopefully this video helps you out, guys, in choosing which pair for you. So let's start off first with the uppers of these two sneakers. Both have mesh uppers but different implementation. The All City 11 has this kind of like screen mesh material, which from the out of the box it is really soft. And what's nice about the weave of this one is it's closely knitted but at the same time still very well ventilated. While on the Ultras, you can see like there's a lot of holes here, and it has a very similar texture like the weave on the Jordan 36, which is more fused. So this feels more fused compared to the upper of the All City 11. But what's nice about the Ultras is it has a lot of ventilation. The All City 11 already has a very nice ventilated upper, but if you want more ventilations, there's a lot more holes seen in the Ultras. Goes from the forefoot to the mid part of the sneaker, while the Ultras around the mid part, it's not that well ventilated, but still there's some airflow going inside. But so if you're choosing more ventilation wise, I would give it more to the Ultras. But in terms of durability, I would pretty much say both are very good in terms of durability. The Ultras, even though it has that very thin upper, the screen mesh is very well fused, and the underlying material or fabric really holds down the screen mesh and giving it the structure to the Ultra. While on the WOW City 11, even though it's soft here, but there's an underlying fabric around the tip of the toe, similar to the Ultras, which has this fusing on the toe area. And it goes to the back part here, which has a thicker mesh around the midfoot and forefoot part of the sneaker, which will give you a ton of support. So that's one of the main difference between the All City 11 and the Ultras, is the support that you will have or get on the All City, because it has these two strings that when you pull your laces, it will pull your foot down to the footbed. And that's one of the main difference that I felt between these two, is your foot really is being held down really well on the All City 11, while on the Ultras the material tends to kind of stretch, especially when I'm doing lateral moves. But it's not dangerous, it still contains your foot, but not as nice as the ones that you will be feeling on the All City 11. This one has a little bit give, which will take a bit of getting used to once you play with them more. But don't worry, you're not sliding off the footbed, because this fused material also holds you down on the lateral part, and also this plastic piece here really contains your foot too, but not like the containment that you will be getting out of the All City 11. Hope that makes sense, because also this pink part on the 11s, you can see it really goes up here, and your foot really doesn't go anywhere. You can see it's going inside or concaving inside your foot and hugging your foot. So when you're doing lateral moves, the response on your lateral cuts is quicker in the All City 11, while on the Ultras there's a little bit more delay, because your foot will be sliding just a bit and just a matter of split second. But when you're wearing these two pairs side by side, you will feel the difference. So I would say if you're looking for a ton of lateral support, the All City 11 will give you that. And of course, when you want your foot really not moving anywhere else in the sneaker, you will surely like that feeling on the All City 11. So that's one highlight of the All City 11 that I would say this one really gives you a ton of support laterally, holds your foot down, and it has a very nice fit to your foot. Of course, if you're a regular footer like me, it fits me very well, and we'll be discussing the sizing in a bit, but just in terms of the shape of the sneaker, you can see the Ultras kinda is wider here, so there's a little bit more space on top of your foot, while on the All City 11s it's lower, especially around this part, so it's a little bit more tapered compared to the Ultras. And on a top view, you can also see that there's a bit more bulge on the material on the Ultras, since this is fused, so it doesn't really really conforms to your foot as much as the All City 11 does. So that's one thing to consider on both sneakers. While the lacing system on both are pretty similar, it has a traditional lacing system aside from this extra eyelet here, which is for the forefoot support of the All City 11s. While the rest is kind of similar, it has a traditional lacing system, but the tongue is different. Of course, the Ultra has this booty upper, which is stretchable, while the 11s has this traditional tongue. And in terms of comfort around the tongue, I didn't feel any discomfort on the Ultras, even though it doesn't have that much padding compared to the 11s. But if you want more comfort, especially around top of your foot, of course the tongue of the 11s will be a little bit more comfortable compared to the Ultras, where when you're really lacing or tightening up your laces, you will feel the laces kind of touching your foot a bit, but nothing that is uncomfortable feeling at all. But of course, comfort wise, 11s will give you in that aspect. As for the height of the ankle, I would say on top of the ankle pretty much the same, but on the ankle part, yeah, still the same, because the booty, when you're pressing it down, similar cut around the ankle bone. But the main difference is in terms of pillows. I would say pillows, it's a little bit more thicker on the Ultras compared to the All City 11, but in terms of containment, when I was wearing them side by side, pretty much the same. Both have very good heel containment lockdown, no heel slippage on both. Achilles pillows, both are very comfortable in my opinion, and of course, get the right size, guys. Of course, if you don't get the right size, you will feel that heel slippage on whatever sneakers you are wearing. As for the insole, All City has that very nice insole from Way of Wade. Well, of course, the Ultras doesn't have an insole because it is a drop-in cushion. And comparing the cushion, let's talk about the cushion. Both have full length boom cushioning on these two, which are really comfortable. I would say the boom foam is one of the best foam cushioning out in the market right now. They're very bouncy, comfortable, and very responsive foams. But the implementation of the boom cushion is different between these two. The boom cushion on the Ultras is a little bit thicker compared to the All City 11, thus giving the All City a little bit more advantage on court feel and responsiveness. So if you're looking more towards court feel and responsiveness, but still having that plush ride on the boom, given that this is really low to the ground, you will still have that bounce and plushness in the forefoot, and especially on the heel. You will like the All City 11. While if you want more bounciness and impact protection and plushiness right below your foot, the Ultras will give you that, since the boom is a little bit thicker, so it kind of bounces more. Thus, the responsiveness is not as great as the ones on the All City 11. So there's no wrong answer, it's just the type of player you are. If you want more bouncy cushioning and more impact protection, of course go with the Ultra. But if you want more responsiveness, I think this one will be great for lighter guards since you don't need that much cushioning at all, but you still want to be very quick off your feet. The All City 11 will be a perfect sneaker for you. Now let's move on to the heel to toe transition on both. I would say they're pretty much the same shape, especially in the forefoot. They have a very nice curve in the forefoot and a rounded heel too for heel strikers. They're very nice in terms of the flow when you're running up and down the floor. I would say pretty much the same. And another difference between these two is the All City 11 has a midfoot plate here, a carbon fiber plate, which is not as long as the Wow 10s, but still is ample in the midfoot, which is kind of lacking here on the Ultras, which you can bend a lot on the Ultras. So if you're someone who's not bothered from over twisting your sneaker, you don't mind that, the Ultras will be good for you. But if you're someone who wants more torsional support, midfoot support, and you don't want your foot from over twisting, the All City will be better for you. The spring back, yeah, there's a little bit more constraint on the All City because of the carbon fiber plate in the middle, while look at that, the Ultras you can really bend around the midfoot. So it really depends on your preference. Now let's move on to the traction of these two sneakers. The Ultras has this kind of like spiral ripple effect on the traction, while the 11s has a herringbone pattern with this black piece design in the middle, which looks like DNA or bubbles. So in terms of rubber material, rubber thickness, hardness are pretty much the same. So I would say outdoor use are okay for these two sneakers because they have very thick threads and the rubber compounds hard. In terms of squeakiness, both are very squeaky if you are into that, and the grip on the traction on both are really good. Even on a dusty floor, even on a kind of moist floor, it still will perform really good, and two of the best traction that are out now in the market, so you'll never go wrong between these two. I'll be putting the B-roll in this video so you will hear the grip and squeak of these two sneakers. As for the width on the forefoot, let's look at it. So the All City is a little bit wider by a millimeter or two in the forefoot, while on the heel pretty much the same around the heel. So like I've said, the All City 11 is wide, is low to the ground, thus really translating to a sneaker that will give you a ton more support, stability if you are more into that. But if you're someone who's very shifty and you want to twist your feet faster, there's a bit more flow there, and of course so a little bit more rounded outsole, the Ultras is better for you. For the price of this one, the All City 11 is 8,000, around 8,500 pesos, while the Ultras is 8,900, so that's around $10 difference between these two. And my size for these two sneakers are 10 and a half, and take note that I'm a regular footer, so wide footer I would suggest go true to your size. So for the weight, for 10.5, the Ultras 440, while the All City 420. So the All City is much lighter because I think because the boom is thinner on the All City, while the boom on the Ultra is a little bit thicker compared to the All City. So for the summary between these two sneakers, if you are someone who likes more responsiveness, low to the ground court feel, and a ton of support laterally, a very nice fit around your foot, a good grip on the outsole, and of course torsional support, so the All City 11 will be for you for those players who like support a bit more, who prioritize support a lot more. The All City will be ideal for you. But if you are a shifty guard, if you want more impact protection, bit more bounce around your sneaker, And of course, and if you don't want your sneaker to be a little bit more twisty, the Ultras will be better for you. And of course, if you have an extra $10 more to spend, the Ultras is also very ideal for you. So no wrong answers, no wrong choice between these two. I enjoyed playing on these two sneakers. It's just that it really depends on your style of play and the mood that I'm playing. If I want more cushioning, I would go more here to the Ultras. But if I want to be more responsive, very quick, especially on league games where I want to be extra quick, extra responsive on my movements, since the games won't be that long, since it's a 40-minute game, I would take the All City 11. But if I'm playing 2 hours, pick up games, I will get the Ultras. So let me know which one you would choose between these two. Hit me a comment down below. This has been MARKCHES once again. Thank you for dropping by this channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.